I have internet. So, hold on. Okay, here it is. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Sorry for the delay. I don't know what was going on, but my internet just was like not doing what I needed it to do. But anyway, here we are. So happy Saturday. All right. So I want to start out by I want you to imagine this, okay? Say you were driving home from the store, right? You had went to get to the store to go and get groceries, right? And so you're driving home, you're minding your business, you listen to old school R&B, okay, from the 90s, and a car runs the stop sign and plows right into you as you're driving. It goes boom right into you, right? And you spin a couple of times and you hit a pole, right? And so your injuries that you sustained were pretty bad. And even though the medical professionals on the scene did everything that they could, um, tragically, you did not make it. Okay. And so now your family has to start planning your home going. Thankfully, you did have life insurance. Okay. But you had just purchased a home 5 years earlier, and you only had $100,000 in coverage, and your home, the mortgage is 350,000. And so you left behind not only your mortgage and other expenses, but also a husband and a 15-year-old daughter. Now, 2 weeks earlier, you had just said that you were going to check on, do it with your life insurance policies because you wanted to make sure that you still had enough life insurance coverage. You and your husband had just had this conversation. And so between that conversation with your husband and 2 weeks later, you never scheduled your policy review. Okay. And so now your family has to not only grieve you, but also wonder how will they financially, be okay? How will they be able to financially maintain? Um, and that's something so super sad. It's something that it happens more often than not. Um, and it's really heartbreaking because you have the added stress. Your family now has the added stress of having to worry about finances while simultaneously grieving the loss of you. Okay. And so today, I want to bring to your attention the importance of reviewing your life insurance policies regularly. The best financial protection that you can have is protection that keeps up with the pace of your life. And so I'm going to go over four of the 8 major life moments that should trigger you to review your life insurance policy. Okay. I recorded this yesterday. I did it live yesterday, but I don't know what was going on. It only recorded 2 minutes of it. So I was like, I got to get this, information out because this is very important information. And this is a key legacy planning action that you definitely want to make sure you do. It's a small action, but it's very, very powerful. Okay. All right. So as always, grab your notebook and something to write with because class is in session. Okay. And so if you are new to me or to the channel, my name is Katrice, and I am a licensed health and life insurance broker, paralegal, and your wealth architect. And I help women entrepreneurs and professionals to grow, protect, and secure their finances and to build a financial legacy that they can be proud of. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. So, as you can see, life is not static. Things can shift in a blink of an eye. And as women, we evolve, we love, we build, we grieve, and we grow. And with each chapter of our, and with each of those chapters, our financial needs and responsibilities change. But yet, so many of us treat life insurance as a set it and forget it, something that we just check off of our to do list and we never revisit until we need it. And then, more often than not, it is not enough to do what its intended purpose was, and that was to cover you financially, okay, after loss. And so when you get married, motherhood, when you start a new business, or loss, it shifts the financial energy within your personal world. Okay. And so if your life insurance stays the same while your life transforms, then you risk being underprotected or missing out on opportunities to grow and strengthen your financial legacy. Okay? So, your life insurance, you need to think of it as a living, breathing document. Okay. And it is a financial foundation that can always be reinforced. Okay. And so, this is why um, doing regular policy reviews so very important. Now, if you are, your husband is the one that kind of handles all the finances and insurance and things of that nature, you still need to know about your insurance. Okay. You need to know the life insurance policies, how many you have, the face amounts, who's the carrier, the contact information for the carrier, who's the beneficiaries, because you not knowing this information can definitely put you at risk. And there's so many stories that I could tell you about women who their husband handled everything, and so when the husband passed away, they had absolutely no clue what was going on. They didn't know if they had life insurance policies, and if they did know if they had life insurance, they didn't know what the policies was, they didn't know who the carrier was, they didn't know how to make a claim. And so you don't want to find yourself in that situation. And so you always want to make sure that you stay informed about your life insurance. Okay. And it just keeps you from putting yourself in a financial risk. Okay. All right. So here the four. There's a total of eight. And if you go on the community tab, I did post all eight on the community tab, but I'm just going to give you four here, the four that I feel are the top, that are the most common that would trigger you to um, review your life insurance. So the first one is when you get married or divorced. Okay. And so a new spouse or separation would mean that new financial responsibilities and maybe new people to protect. Okay. So you want to update your beneficiaries and your coverage to match your new reality. Now, giving birth to a child or adopting a child. Um, and once you become a parent, your world changes immediately. The moment I had my oldest daughter, it was like, you know, I pretty much shifted all my focus on her, right? And so you have to look at it as like you're not the only person that you're responsible for now. And so you have to make sure that you are securing your child's financial future. And so this is the time that you want to increase your coverage. You also want to revisit who is the beneficiary. You may have had your mom, and now you want to put your child. Now, caveat, I will say, I do not recommend you putting children under the age of 18 as the beneficiary, because legally they are not able to enter into contracts. The the insurance company would not be able to just send them a check in their name, right? Because they are not of the age of majority, which is 18. So you want to, when you are, updating beneficiaries, you want to put somebody who you feel like would do right by your child. Okay. Um, and make sure that your child is will make sure that your child is taken care of. Okay. The next one is that I had you imagine. in the story, you had just bought a home, right? The woman had just bought a home and she had a $350,000 mortgage and she only had $100,000 in coverage, right? So after funeral expenses, she only had, let's say she only had about maybe, you know, what how her family wanted left, right? So only a drop in the bucket compared to the mortgage, right? And so you want to always make sure that you have enough insurance so that if something happens to you, your mortgage is covered and your family's stability is not rocked. Okay. And then the last one I'm going to do is approaching retirement. And so as you get closer to retirement, your focus may shift from income protection to legacy planning. Okay. And so you want to make sure that your policy matches your vision for the future. Okay. All right. So here's some steps that you should take um, in order to ensure that your policies are up to date and that they are still adequately going to cover you. Okay. So the first use every year. A good time to do it is right after your birthday. Okay. So, for example, for me, my birthday is September 23rd. So I would schedule my policy within 7 days after my birthday, right? To make sure that that's something that I've, checked off, right? Then the next thing you want to do is after you decide when you're going to do your review, then you're going to want to gather your documents. So your policy statements, your beneficiary info, and any recent changes that have happened in your life. So that way, when you sit down with your agent or broker, that you can, share this information with you so they can help you to, if you need to make any updates to beneficiaries, or if you need to, add additional coverage, they can help you to get the right amount so you're adequately covered. Okay. And then the last step is to actually reach out to your broker and schedule the review. Okay. Now, if you don't have a broker or you don't remember who your broker is, um, I don't know how it works with life insurance. I know with health insurance,